two middle-aged guys on an adventure beating people up.
Yeah,
That's kind of what just happened.
yeah, and that was just to get into the restrooms.
Right.
Welcome to a special edition of Counter to Intelligence. I'm Ken, the bunker.
Tom, the debunker, and there's no debunking this. Look at the weather. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're on this adventure. We're going right now. So
we don't know where we're going, or at least we know we're not going to tell you.
yeah, so let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. You know, he's supposed to be trying to get in the back seat, but he has to get in the front.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to be, so now I know.
Do you know where you're going yet?
I'm gonna put it. I have the. So we can't show the people, but on the other side of this paper is where we're going.
Nice.
All right. Are we going to the center or the hotel? I assume we're going to the center.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
We're going through a cemetery. This isn't a Tesla, so we can't see if there's any ghosts on either side of us.
That's true.
Disappointed.
No, we gotta upgrade. Maybe I need an EMP-proof car, and then I want to shoot out the electromagnetic to the ghosts and detect them. Yeah, I think that's how you do it. I don't know. That's what I've been told. That was spooky right there.
Yeah. You should do it at night.
Yeah.
I also like to just stand
Take
in the
the next
cemetery
right
at
onto
night.
North Church
When
Street,
people
then
drive
turn
by.
left onto East Main Street.
And just see what reaction you get.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Sure.
is the guy alive?
Yeah. It freaks people out. It's
Yeah.
At the
fun.
light, turn left onto East Main Street.
Somebody's got to do that. I've never done that. You should call me up when next
Yeah.
time.
I mean, sometimes you'll be there all night and nobody comes
No.
by. But,
Yeah.
when that one person does,
you're ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Be like, I can imagine your wife. People are, where's Ken? Oh, he's in the cemetery. Don't worry about it.
Again.
He's gonna be back in a couple hours, maybe tomorrow.
If you would just drive out there, he'll come in sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just waiting.
He's just waiting for somebody to acknowledge that he's there.
So we're gonna reach our destination in 12 minutes. We added some time because we stopped at the most fortified McDonald's in all the world on top of a mountain.
It was people.
Yeah.
They had potholes big enough to get a full tire into, which
Yeah.
I carefully avoided because of my cat-like reflexes.
Yeah.
But it was close.
Yeah. It's frightening. I thought we were gonna die. And I don't know who was like, hey, you know what would be a great place to put a McDonald's? On top of a mountain. And like they didn't let us know that is what was all going on. So we're headed here to Wilkes Bar. Right?
Wilkes Bar. Yes,
It's Wilkes Bar.
that's
I
what
think
it
the
says.
little lady on your thing is calling it Wilkes-Barre.
She was talking to me. Yeah, she's not a
Use the
berry.
left lane to
Here it
turn
is.
exit 165 feet, then merge onto Wilkes-Barre Township Boulevard.
She's calling it Wilkes-Barre.
I
I don't think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's like bar, like the ballet thing. B-A-R-E. Isn't that bar? Shh. She's obviously not from the area. Stupid AI.
Right? Wow, they got a nice big church there.
Yeah.
This is cool. Everything's in the valley. That's what's great about Pennsylvania. It's mountains, and then they put
Yeah.
the stuff in the valleys. That's where
Yeah.
she goes.
Let's see. Look, all right, you see that steeple over there?
I see it.
That's a church, everybody. I can't tell if it's like one of those old school churches, but it's tell you about old churches in New England and Pennsylvania. Like you'll see the steeple and it'll have like the main one, but then you'll see these other little tiny steeples around it. And there's a reason. It's supposed to keep evil spirits. I guess they thought that if the evil spirit came down, it would impale itself. I have no idea, but that it's somehow supposed to keep evil spirits out of the church. Yeah. Well, I asked, like, because I was up in Vermont and I saw all these old churches with like a steeple and like these tiny spikes, and I think there'll be 10 of them. And I asked, I go, what is that about? And I found out that's what it was about. Supposedly, extra steeples keep evil at bay.
That's important information.
Look, we could have gone to this McDonald's, and this one looks like it's not as fortified.
It's nowhere near as fortified.
So Vikings could probably overtake that one. But the one we went to, I mean, it was on. The Vikings would never get to it. It was going to be safe. Your McNuggets were going to be okay.
That's right. They're probably protecting the McNuggets. They don't want people to get them. So we're about to do a Pennsylvania left-hand turn, which means we turn right and we turn left. So this is not my first Pennsylvania turning
Take the
experience.
next to Casey Ave.
Apparently, we have to go here,
Go
take a right,
take a right so we can take
so
a
we
left.
can take a left. There's no other way to do it
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania. I think it's got to be like a road crew thing. They must have wanted more right turns. So
Turn
they
left
don't
at East
go
Road
right.
Entrance.
No, I think it's an Amish thing. The Dutch Amish. Something to do with the horses. I think it's easier. I'm making stuff up. But that's okay because the Amish don't watch our show. So,
They could be. We should advertise it.
yeah.
I don't know how you do
We
that.
need to like get the Amish demographic.
We definitely do.
Yeah, the Amish that are into conspiracies.
Yeah, but the question is about Amish on Facebook or YouTube or anything?
Well, we
like
got to somehow get them on there.
that? Yeah.
Maybe there's a paper edition of Facebook and that we can get there
That Facebook news. That's what we should
Yeah.
make. That's
for
the future.
the Amish.
For the Amish.
Yeah.
And just every
Facebook
day.
and just like download people's
Yeah.
comments
Comments and yeah.
and posts.
Yeah. And you could subscribe to certain people that you're interested in, certain topics. We'll just compile it all, print it for you, and give it to you.
Yeah.
For a small price. $10 a month.
So we're almost to our final destination.
We are.
Yeah.
And where we are right now, I don't know. It looks like a small town.
Well, it's Wilkes Barre. I mean, it's pretty sprawling,
It is.
but it has a small town feel.
Yes. 400 feet away.
Yeah. So the FM Kirby Center, not to be confused with the AM one.
Yeah, totally different frequency. All right, here we go. I still don't see the center. That's what's interesting. Let me know if you see it. Oh, maybe that's it.
There it is. That's it. Kirby Center. Look at that.
That's very cool.
That is where we're going.
Destination is on the right.
Oh, public parking around the corner.
Perfect.
It's probably that blue building.
Yeah. There's an intermodal transportation facility. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Different mode?
This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kirby Center. People are already going in. There he goes. He's taking pictures of the stage. Look at him go.
People to sit down.
Yeah. And look at it now. I'm going to show you here. Wow. There's the big reveal. That is where we made it. Just in time with only an hour to spare.
Yes, only an hour to spare. And let's not talk about, all the people we had to beat up to get here.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of fights. Fisticuffs, as they say. We
Yeah.
had a lot of fisticuffs.
Yeah, just to get here.
Two middle-aged guys on an adventure beating people up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what just happened.
Yeah. And that was just to get into the restrooms.
Right. The restrooms were rough. They were very rough.
Yeah. But look, we're on the right side because
That's really good.
yeah, pretty. There you have it. Now you know the big reveal, and we'll tell you more afterwards.
That's right. We may be limited in our flash photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to bring in any flash photography or guns
Right.
or weaponry.
The guns were limited, right? That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Weapons of any sort, really.
Well, that was a recap of us getting to the event, and then
And now we've come back and we have a lot to talk about, honestly. It was kind of awesome.
yeah. So I mean, the trip up was awesome. We had a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the trip up? I'm just curious.
There's what about. I love the ongoing commentary. I feel a lot of good things were said. Just like seeing how different that area was from the area we're coming with. Like
Mhm.
all the people that have businesses name their business after themselves. It's not
Yeah.
like the Muffler Center. It's like Johnny's Muffler Center, right? Like that was just fascinating to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I remember when we got into the towns, and it was like Dom's tires, and then there's
Yeah,
Brian's tires, and
yeah.
then there's Rick's tires, and they're all like, I wonder if there's like fights that
I
they
wonder
get in,
too.
because
Yeah,
they all seem to be owned by, there wasn't like a Mr. Tires or a tire center or any, it was all like privately owned, like
yeah.
at least where we were at. I'm sure like if you get into like but that was the capital,
Right.
wasn't it,
Yeah,
that
that
we
was the
were, yeah.
capital. We went through the capital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the capital of Pennsylvania, and it was like, and there wasn't, didn't seem to be any chains. It was really
Right.
bizarre, but
It really was. And I wonder if like Dom and Henry and those guys, like you say, they were like high school rivals. And they're like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to like better get a better tire place or whatever. I don't know.
yeah. And the other, I enjoyed the McDonald's we found,
That was
and
really good.
in the video we talked about it, the one that was on top of the mountain, like,
Gosh, it
and like
was
we clicked
fortified.
it, and yeah, it was like the best, like it was where you'd want to build a fortress, like
Yes.
because it was like you had the best view of all around,
Yeah.
and if bad guys were coming, you could shoot them as they came up the mountain. It was like, Burger King and Wendy's had no chance of overtaking them. They were the king of the mountain. Ronald was smart. He and Grimace were safe, and it was just,
Yeah.
all around like a cool thing.
It
And
really
and
was. The potholes too were they were good defense mechanisms, right? We could have been stuck in that one. It was really, really
Yeah,
big.
yeah, I'm glad you missed it. Like
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
said, you had cat-like reflexes.
I did.
Like,
It was very, or whatever's fast. I don't know, Jaguar like
yeah,
recent.
well, that's still a cat,
Oh,
so,
that's true. All right.
yeah, still feline. But so then we made it to the Josh Gates thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. Like I love Josh Gates. I love his shows. I've been
Yeah.
watching him since Destination Truth, and this was like my Father's Day gift, and I drug you along.
It was
And
fun.
yeah, but like when we got, I really didn't know what he was going to do or say, and it was really interesting because he, like, I don't want to tell his life story that way because I think people should go see his event.
They
But
should.
he kind of explained how he got to where he is today, and kind of like the almost the dumb luck,
Yeah.
because he went into how he got emails about something from a friend. Hey, but he was just blowing it off because he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, this isn't legit. And it was just
Right.
kind of funny how he literally blew it off for a month or
Yeah.
so. And then the whole circumstances of him going, and then his first show was Destination Truth, but how he got it is really funny. And
Yeah.
so it kind of, like, the lesson there was just be who you are,
Yeah.
is what I took away from it. It's like, don't pretend. And I'm trying not to give stuff away, but basically he was up against actors
Right.
who were wanting the part to be the host of a show, and they were the
Right.
actors, and he was a legit guy who did things.
Right.
And so it was kind of cool that, he was not an actor. He was just this guy who does these crazy things, and it worked out for him. So
I really like that part. And he went through, I don't give too much away either, but he went through like the history of the different uh branding and networks and so on, his associate his
oh
company
yeah,
shows were associated with. That was really funny, like how all that transpired. So it's definitely
oh
worth
yeah,
seeing.
yeah,
Or
like how the different companies bought each other out and then
yeah,
changed names and reverted to names, and
yeah,
and I thought that was pretty cool how that worked out. And I think the other, like, really neat thing, I like that he dabbled into like the different genres he goes into, like
yeah,
the archaeology, then the ghost hunting, and then
yeah,
the monster hunting. And just, I thought that was cool how he explained his thoughts on it, and like why he was interested in it. And then I think the best part of the show actually for me was the Q&A. And I almost wished that was longer than it
yeah.
was,
Me
only
too.
because I didn't get to ask my question. But no,
Right. But I think
But
other people would have questions too. I felt like there's a lot to ask, right? And you didn't
yeah,
give
there
us
was a
that time.
lot of but
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that like when he saw that the lines were getting in and he knew he didn't have much more time, that he asked that all the kids got to
Yeah.
ask. But that's almost a double-edged sword there in that. And when I told my kids about that, and my kids, and I should have brought my kids because then I could have made them ask my question.
Right.
But they were almost like, and it's kind of funny. It was cool that he did that, but at the same time, they're like most of those kids probably don't know his history, so they're fans of his current show, whereas the adults were long time fans. So
Yes.
these were like the adults would have been the ones that go back to his first show and have
Yeah.
seen him do Destination Cruise, Expedition Unknown, Josh Gates Tonight,
Yeah.
Expedition X, and
Yeah.
all the other shows he's involved in. So the adults knew that, whereas the kids probably only know him from Expedition Unknown.
Exactly.
And so my kids who would have been able to ask a question were
Right.
like, oh, it's almost not fair because although the kids were hilarious, some of the kids were very
Gosh, they
funny.
were so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say my favorite question of the night was the medium.
Right.
Um, that I what was funny about that, to explain to everybody, in his show he talks about ghost hunting and ghosts, and he goes into kind of like how you can't prove there are ghosts, but you can't prove there aren't ghosts.
Right.
And then he went into the story of Harry Houdini, which this
Yeah.
isn't a spoiler. I mean, everyone should know this story if you're into this kind of stuff, where Harry Houdini told his wife before, like, if I ever die,
Yeah.
and because he didn't know when, but he's like, if I die before you, and I think she had the same thing,
Right.
whereas she died before him, there was a secret word that they shared with each other that this will be the sign that a medium is talking to me.
Right.
And so that was the secret word that only she knew. And when he did die, tragically early, I mean, he was like, I think he's in his 50s, 40s or 50s, but it was appendicitis. But he died. She would have seances with these supposed mediums.
Right.
And to the point that like she did for years. And then she finally just said, hey, I'm done. None of you have ever. And they would all say, oh, I have Harry here, blah, blah. And she goes, okay, ask him what my secret word is.
Right.
And they would, and none of them could give it to her. And
Oh,
so to the point that like, and that he, even before he was alive, he would go into like, if people don't know, he was really against these mediums because in that day there was a big revolution of spiritualism, and a lot of people were taking advantage of people, like
right.
saying, "Oh, I talked to your dead husband," and they, "Oh, you well, if only you gave me $20 more, I could
Right.
really." And they were shysters, and he hated that. And he showed how they did their spirit stuff. He could recreate a seance where
Right.
like having the tables lift, the sounds and everything, and he knew how to do it.
Right.
And so he would go in and like, and a lot of these mediums hated him for it. But back to the medium's question, it was so funny. He had just gotten through saying that he did believe there's kind of stuff out there, but he couldn't prove one way or the other. But
Yeah.
he said he never uh, talked. He felt like he had never spoken with an actual dead person.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting that he qualified that
Yeah.
it, like, as opposed to, because he in his show he showed EVPs, which is the electro voice phenomenon.
Mhm.
And but I thought it was interesting that he said he felt he had never talked to a person. Like, now, was it demonic or something else? He didn't say that, but the medium asked, have you ever had a positive experience with a dead person or a ghost?
Right.
And he proceeded not to answer that question. But when she asked that, it was really funny because the whole audience, you heard people starting to laugh.
Yes.
Because she started out by saying, what was it? I am a certified medium.
Certified medium. Yeah.
And which is what you and I got into, is like, how do you get that certification? Because we want to know. because
Right.
maybe we could get that certification.
Oh my God.
It
We should
kind of
look it
reminds,
up. Like, how do you do that?
yeah, you should look up because I think you would be an amazing certified medium.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think you wear like medium shirts probably.
I
And
do. I am certified medium already.
yeah,
I
you
never
are.
thought
You
about it.
already certified medium. Like if I wear a medium shirt, my wife gets mad at me because it's too tight.
Yeah, you don't want that. So there is a certified, there's mediumship courses in the UK you can take.
Is there? Oh, so you have to do the. Oh, of course, it's UK.
Yeah.
Those people. Like
So
it kind of remind me of you remember Madame Chloe,
yes,
and for
exactly.
she had that 1-900 number, and she would for just $5 a minute they would
Right.
tell you your future.
Yes. I love it.
And Madame Chloe here, yeah, she's like from Jamaica, and I think she wasn't even from Jamaica. I think she was from like Queens, New York. I think there was, and if she was from Jamaica, I apologize, but I think I remember someone doing an expose on her, and she was from New York or something,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
wasn't really a certified medium, and she does, and you can't find her anywhere now, Madame
Oh
Chloe.
yeah. But she was like the late night TV ad that people,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Especially
everybody
if
knew.
you watched USA Up All Night,
Yeah.
like he was always like one of the ads, which was one I used to love USA Up All Night. That was like my jam when I was young
Right.
because they always had like the B movies, so like just so cheesy movies.
Yeah.
Um, like Toxic Avenger was always one of those, and now they're doing a reboot of that, which
Yeah.
I'm actually I, which is crazy. Like what's funny to me, and this is off subject of what we did, but Toxic Avenger, they're doing a reboot of it. The original was a B movie at best, maybe a C. Like there was nobody in this movie, and it was ridiculous. The special effects were horrible, and it was just violent. I remember, it was just people getting killed, like in such grotesque ways. And now this one, it has like a pretty star-studded cast for this
Right.
reboot. Like, and you should look it up. Like the cast for the new Toxic Avenger is like, how are these people in this movie? Like, it's like these are like A-list actors in
And his
this
B
reboot.
movie, this old
In
B
this,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
in this reboot of a B at best B movie. Like, it's like
Oh my God.
really, yeah.
Kevin
So yeah,
Bacon's in it. Kevin Bacon is in this
yeah,
movie.
and keep going.
I don't, Jane Levy.
Yeah, there.
I'm sure of her. Wow.
I mean, the cast, like,
That's crazy, man. Like I don't know all these people, but
Peter
um,
Dinklage.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
he's there.
he's the Toxic Avenger.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, you have
Macon Blair,
Elijah Woods.
Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Um, you have oh my gosh, I mean the cast is just crazy. Uh, Annette Badman, and she's been in so many things. But I mean Rebecca O'Mara.
Yeah.
Uh, like it's a great cast. Like and the
Yeah.
fact that and I love that Kevin Bacon is the bad guy
Right.
in this one, and Elijah is I think he is plays uh Peter Dinklage's brother, I think, or maybe he's the bad guy's brother. But anyway, yeah. So I just think that Peter Dinklage is Winston, also known as Toxie. I mean, Peter Dinklage is like he's a good actor, and he's going to be. It's also going to be interesting to have him as Toxie because in the movie, the original, he goes from being this wimpy little dude to this ginormous guy. So it's going to be interesting. Like how he's because Peter Dinklage is not an enormous dude, but
Right.
he's an enormous talent.
Ooh, I like the way you said it.
Boom.
Boom.
But yeah, so there you go. So we went and saw Josh Gates live,
Yeah.
and I recommend it to anyone, even if you are not a Josh Gates fan.
Yeah.
I thought it was because I don't know that you were much of a fan going into
I
this.
mean, I knew of him, but I didn't watch tons of his shows. It was really good. It like makes
Yeah,
me want to go and rewatch all his episodes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's funny, and he's
Yeah.
funny, and I love that. It was cool. And like if you haven't watched him, obviously he's on Discovery Channel now, but
Right.
you can find all the previous episodes are now on Hulu,
Yeah.
um, which he made a joke about now being owned by Disney.
Right.
Um, but it was like pretty cool. So I think we had a great man venture.
We did. Oh, Manventure. That's
And venture.
counterintelligence Manventure. That's got to be
Yeah.
up
So
there.
yeah, I think that's what we're gonna call this episode, the man venture.
Oh, that's
And
good.
and I think we need to do another man venture. I think next one, since this was kind of like mine,
Right.
you need to come up with the next man venture
All
of
right.
and something that you dig, and we will go
Right.
on it and then do our little montage and then
I think
talk
we should
about
go look for the New Jersey drones. I don't know. We should
uh,
go get some
is that
gear.
what is
Maybe
that what you
maybe
want to
that's
do?
what it is. Yeah.
Are they still even doing any
They're
drones anymore?
not doing anything. That's the unfortunate thing. We wouldn't have a lot of stuff to see, right? We'll just have
Yeah,
a bunch of people looking at the sky guy. I don't know. We bought some equipment, there's nothing there.
yeah.
But
There's nothing there now.
yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah,
But
it
I'll
is
figure
unfortunate.
something out. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's got to be another man venture on the horizon. Well, there might be one in the fall, right? That we're both going to.
we'll have to do that one too.
Yeah, we'll
That
keep that a secret from our listening audience, though.
Yeah. Well, I think like the week before we go on the man venture, we'll announce where we're going to be in case
Correct.
our moms want to show up and
Right.
see us
That's our
because
moms
they're
do
our
want to see us. Yeah,
yeah they're our biggest fans, and
they
so
are. They're huge. I think that's a good 1% of the listeners, right?
yeah,
Is just the moms. Yeah.
yeah. I think our moms actually made all the accounts that follow us, and they just keep
Just to make us feel good. Like we're gonna
yeah
give them 5 or 10 follows. That's fine.
yeah. It's like wow, that's crazy. Like especially since I don't think my mom knows how to work a phone, but
Right.
she figured out how to like subscribe
Yeah.
15 times.
It was a little suspicious that they all were named like Mom One, Mom Two,
Mom
Mom
two,
Three.
mom
Yeah.
three. Wow, these are a lot of people go with the name mom down
Yeah.
here. So very nice. So there, I think we explained it. People got to see it, and we talked about the show we saw. What should we do next week? What do you want? What
Well,
topic?
were we doing the forests? I thought we talked about that. Was that the one we
What?
were doing? The
Which
Hoya
one?
Hoya
Oh yeah,
vaccine?
yeah. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah, did talk about it, and the reason that came up was because Josh Gates did a 2 episodes
Yeah.
involving the haunted forest in Romania,
Yeah.
and I think that's like if people don't know this story, the folklore behind it is pretty awesome.
It is.
But like some of the stories involved in it, and we can talk about what happened to Josh Gates' crew when they went there, but just the other stories involved in this forest, it goes back centuries. So
Right.
and it's just a really cool. And so next week we'll talk about the haunted forest of Romania, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it. You just said it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
sort of
say it
saying it wrong,
incorrectly.
but it's spooky. It's just a freaking spooky forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just Google it and look at the pictures of the forest, it's
Yeah.
like even with the broad daylight, you're like, that's a weird forest.
Yeah.
Like the way the trees grow and
They grow
everything. You're just
weirdly. They grow
like,
in like a circle. It's like
yeah,
bizarre. Yeah.
yeah. It looks like a dolly painting,
Yeah.
but it's real. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is going on there? But yeah, I don't want to give away any of the folklore behind it, but we'll go into what that is all about. And I don't have one for the previous guy because I don't want to do a two for like we've done in the past. But you're just gonna have to find out next week what we're going
Right.
into.
Exactly. We don't reveal it all.
Yeah. So there you have it. Everyone will hope you enjoyed the 10-minute pre-show and then us telling you about the show and our like random talks about the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
yeah,
And hopefully people go and see the show. It was really good. So I
yeah,
agree.
and he's touring around the country, and he does this every year. So if they don't get a chance this time, I think he does it every spring because I remember I follow him on Instagram and he starts advertising it. So and I would like to in like a year or two, it'd be cool to go back and just see what's changed on it, if
Yeah.
anything. And then if he does the exact same show, then we'll have to be okay, he did the same.
Right. But we're gonna get in line. We're gonna have a strategy and we're gonna be
Yeah.
first in line.
Yeah, next time if I see any certified mediums, I'm knocking them on the ground and then I'm going to say, I bet you didn't see that coming, and get in front of them.
I love it. This is the best plan ever. Manventure 2.
Or what I'll do is I'll get on my knees and wear a little beanie and be like, Mr. Gates, and they'll think I'm a little kid. I think we talked about a bunch of different ways you can get some, but some of them are really politically incorrect, and I don't want to talk about.
That's true. I don't know if we should do an episode on that, but we had an episode's worth of ideas. So
yes, we did. So anyway, so there you go. Everyone who listened into us this week, thanks for checking us out. Come back next week. We're going to talk about the haunted forest of Romania, because I can't talk. And so we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. See you.